Hey watch friends, today we're going to do a quick revisit of a model we've checked out previously. This is the Feynman V, or 6 if you prefer. However, this one's special in that this is actually a collaboration between Feynman and Stitches and Buckles. They're a dealer out of Singapore. I will have a link down the video description if you want to check this particular one out or anything else. They actually have a lot of different micro brands that they offer, and I believe actually branched out to Orient and some other brands as well. So with that being said, we'll just quickly recap, since this is one we've checked out before, we'll just quickly recap the basic specs and then go through and get a feel for this particular variant. As far as the case, measured from the 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock position, you're looking at 37.8 millimeters. The 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, since this is a hidden lug design, is coming in at 40.7 millimeters. So that's sort of going to be your lug-to-lug length. The bezel steps down. It is set back to 32.5 millimeters. The lugs, despite being a hidden lug design, there are technically lugs here, and you can change this out. It's actually 24 millimeters at the lugs. The total thickness, this is one of the areas where this watch really shines. You're only looking at 8.7 millimeters. That is inclusive of the crystal. The crystal itself is a flat sapphire crystal and does feature inner AR coating as well. And then the movement. This is another area that's really nice about this watch, and this is true for this one as well as the prior, and that is this features the ETA 7001. That's a well-storied, very long history movement, very reliable, great movements all the way around, extremely thin. That's how they got the thinness on this. And that is specifically the top grade. You're going to have hand winding. It actually, in fact, is a hand winding movement, so that is not automatic. It does not have hacking. However, with a sub-second, I don't really think that that's too bad. It's not that noticeable. Plus, you can start it up close to the time anyways. It does have a 42-hour power reserve, and this is actually, with being the top grade, this is regulated to 5 positions, so that's fantastic. The water resistance is 50 meters or 5 atmospheres, and the total weight size of my 6.5-inch wrist is 111.4 grams. One of the biggest things that you're going to notice with this particular variant, if you saw the other or if you go back and check that one out, with the prior one that had traditional Arabic numerals, you're going to notice that this particular variant features Eastern Arabic numerals. So you're going to see a different in the overall layout there. But the biggest area where this particular one shines, both literally and figuratively, is this dial. This dial choice, it's really hard to describe. As we're moving it across here in different lighting, hopefully you're getting a little bit of a feel and sense for this particular variant, but this really just has kind of like an iridescent glow to it. As the light hits it, it plays off of that vertical brushing, so it's kind of like a sort of mint green-ish coloration to the dial, but as it actually picks up the light, it just really pops and glows. That iridescence is completely unlike the prior version. We were looking at a darker blue, which that had some cool light play as well, but this just pops like no other. I haven't really seen anything like it, and I've seen different mint green or variations of green dials out there, but this is just such a unique shade and hue to it. It's still going to, of course, feature the same overall layout, so you're going to look at those skeletonized hands, which I do think really allow for that breathing room across the dial. Very cool look. And then, of course, down for your second hand, you do have that lizard tail look there, which is a signature for Feynman. The bracelet is going to be unchanged. You can see on my 6.5-inch wrist, just like I talked about in the full review, this does fit more like a fixed bracelet, so where the links themselves, the way that those integrate with those eye center links, this isn't going to have a lot of articulation to it, but I find it drapes decently across the wrist and is pretty comfortable. As we talked about in the full review, this did actually enhance it in that, unlike the prototype we were looking at then, this does actually have half links that are included as well. While I personally did not need those, with having a butterfly style clasp, it's always good to have those options. But overall, this is going to be the same things that you enjoyed if you enjoyed the 6 previously or the V previously. This one, to me, it's just really punchy. I will say, I'm not personally a huge fan, generally speaking, of Eastern Arabic numerals. I appreciate the inspiration and the idea behind it. It's just not usually one that I would particularly grab. However, to me, this particular colorway with this dial application, it just has, like I said, it has so much vibrancy, so much pop to it that I think even if you're one who doesn't necessarily prefer or always gravitate towards Eastern Arabic numerals, I just think this dial in and of itself really does steal the show for it. So we'll just look at the different angles here as we go throughout. Like I said, really don't want to spend too much time on this because we have already reviewed the full watch more thoroughly and have the full feel and characteristics of that one. So if you want to go back and check that out to learn more about this particular model as a whole, what it's like, see it next to some comparison watches and all those kinds of good things, you can go back and check that one out. But for now, that's all I really wanted to show you here today, is just give you a quick look and feel for this particular collaboration in here and really showcase this dial. So I hope this has been helpful for you. As I said, I will have a link down the video description if you care to go back and, or if you care to go and check that out, or if you want to go back and look at the prior review. Thanks for watching.